wizard is our sideline inbounds play versus a man. And this play can effectively be run anywhere from probably, almost 3/4 of the way down the court from the sideline. But most of the time, we're looking at running it in this vicinity here. So once we get to about the free throw line, it becomes a little bit null and void. It can be run still, but just not as effective. So how it starts out, we have our, athletic cutter, slasher here, our main ball carrier away from the ball, our big, and our other interior player here. So the 3 and the 4 in this instance are our screeners. And when we screen, we want to just set them off slightly so that effectively we're twice as wide. The initiation of this play, it looks like our main ball carrier is actually trying to get the ball, but they're actually more of a release pass and a safety pass if we don't get what we actually want out of this inbounds which is our big guy leading up and dragging his defender away from the ball. That's the pass we want 9 times out of 10. Now, as that's happening, the 1 a split second later should be curling off that double. And as soon as the 1 hits that first screen, this player should be diving to the basket. And that's a foot race just to the basket to try and get a layup. Now, if we time it correctly, it should be almost open every time. Now, what will happen after we've run it once or twice and got that option, the defender of the big may start to front the post, which is great because all we need to do there is walk the defender up the lane a bit further, and we can straight lob pass it over the top for that basket. So if you're the big that's starting on the block, you just be aware of where your defender is. If they're overplaying you, push them up and then get that lob. It could work in the same instance if they're sort of half fronting you, pushing them up the keyway more, and then just passing away from the defense so we can get that easy bucket there as well. So let's say we didn't get the layup off the original cutter, so we've led for the ball here. All right, we've led for the ball and passed that. At the same time, the 1's coming off and our 3 dives. If the 3 doesn't get it, they would push through to the opposite corner. The 2, the inbounder, always sprints off and tries to get the handoff going to the basket, and would push the 3 around. And as you can see, we're starting to form that 3-side, 2-side. So we've got our 4 at the top. We can release pass here and dive to the basket, and now we're in that reversal play where straight into flow. So we're into that initial action where we're getting that interchanging of the 3-side and 2-side. So that's our wizard play. Now, if we've played that a few times and we're not getting much out of it, our other option to change things up is called just simply reverse. Okay, so if we go back to the initial setup where we had the 3, the 1, the 4 at the top here, setting the screens, and the 5 in the block. What we're going to do now is we're going to set our cutter up on this side of the floor. Now that can be the 1, or it's more than likely going to be probably a more athletic player on the floor, one of our wings, but it could be anyone. And the whole idea is just to switch it around. So instead of that player now coming off towards the ball, all right, we're still looking to get the 5 leading to the ball to drag that defender out, but this player is just going to literally curl around and look for the lob straight off the inbounds. Okay, if we can get it. We could make that pass in first and then hit the cutter, whichever option is safer and more effective. Now, once that cutter goes off the top, this is our 1 or our shooter and our big player. So we've actually got that option of a shooter coming off the screen here as well. Okay, so we don't want to clog it too much with this guy, but we've got that shooter there. Remember, whenever it's inbounded, we're running through. So this player would already be through to the corner. This player would be following through to push them up. And then we've got the big, once they've caught the ball, in that interior position. And if we want to, we can play a two-man game, or if we quickly reverse the ball, we're into that three-side action: dribble at, kick through, dribble handoff, dive, and interchange. And we're in that three-side, two-side from Wizard. So we've got Wizard or reverse, pretty much the same, other than where the player who's cut into the basket starts.